look quite different in the train room. Finally got some work done to get just a little bit of framing in on this side. I'll get this member in here, this one here, and I'm gonna have to get another little piece to go across the top, right across there to kind of seal this in and roughly give you an idea. There'll be another extension of the layout over here. Cover that up eventually. Get what we need to get the base of the upper deck in place. You can see I've got a kind of a rough mock-up of what's going to happen here. Everything kind of very roughly in its place where it will be once we get the upper deck going here. And some people thought it was kind of a mistake to cover up the lower deck, but this has kind of been the plan all along. When I sit on my little stool I've got beside me here, this is my view roughly. So it's kind of the whole idea from the start, where I would sit on a stool and view this area, and the upper deck is now starting to take shape. Over here is where the big Metropolitan Union Station will be. This loop of temporary track here will be taken up, and I'm going to have to find room for all this clutter here too. The top of this is all going to come off so I can get back to the Helix and redo the track work in the Helix. That's been such a problem because everything works great on the layout, but when I have a problem, guess where it is? It's inside the Helix. So I'm going to be redoing the track work there. I took too many shortcuts for the track in the Helix, so that's the next big project. So I'll be taking off the top here so I can get into the Helix and redo it. And again, I've showed you this before. Here's a plan of the upper deck, roughly what's going to happen here. So this layout started in 2015 and it's almost 2025. It's been 10 years and I have not budged on the upper deck, so I'm hoping to start making some progress on that. Another framing piece will go right here to kind of frame up the upper deck. Kind of crooked here, but it'll roughly go in here. I got to resize it here. It's not quite the right size, but you get the idea. So trains will be coming up the Helix from below, and they'll come around here, and they'll go into a big freight yard, and all the way around to the other side of the layout where the freight yard is, and they'll see the big locomotive facility and roundhouse and turntable. That'll be here. Some other industries over in that corner. There'll be a little harbor over here in this area of the upper deck. Right now it's just a bottomless pit, but there'll be a little harbor right in here. Trains will come down around here and they'll turn around and go right along the wall, just like the lower deck, and come all the way back around and back over here to the mess on the layout here. So I got a lot of work to do to try to clean up all this stuff. So that's kind of where we're at the moment. So stay tuned, more coming. I think this has been the source of many problems in the Helix, where the tracks weren't really spiked down very tightly in some areas and they tend to shift a little bit. So this has been part of the trouble here. Plus the roadbed wasn't secured very well. So you can see there's quite a few areas where the track has got some give to it. And I think that's part of the problems in the Helix here. And I started wondering, how am I going to get at this track here? And turned out it's easy to just get this little scraper underneath and just pop the nails right up like that. And get the cord out of the way. This is an easy way to pull the nails without having to try to get in here with a pair of pliers to pull the nails, and it's really quite easy. So the track's coming out pretty easy here, and the stubborn part is getting this roadbed out. So it's a slow process, but we're getting there. Alright, so the train room is a mess. This is all the track that's been taken off of the Helix. You can see all the track from the Helix. I've got a little more work to do to get the Helix ready for refurbishing. And I've got just a little bit of cork left to remove. Otherwise all the cork has been taken off the original woodwork here, and I'm just test fitting some new track and new roadbed in here. This is a foam core. It's got styrene on the top and bottom, so sandwich styrene. It's not paper, it's got a little styrene sheet on it. So that's kind of a preview of what I'm replacing all this cork roadbed with. I'm going to put in re-railers on each level, so hopefully that'll help. I've made some little spacers here with the help of my 3D printer, so those will be helping to keep the levels evenly spaced. And that's what we're working on. I got just a little more cork here to remove. Okay, from inside the Helix, you can see a lot of the cork has been removed. I've got just a little bit left over here, and just to kind of give an idea of what a lot of the problems were back here. You can see how uneven and rough this was. It was just really poorly done. This was part of the problem I had with performance back here with the track work. It just wasn't well done at all. Too many shortcuts. I was in too big a hurry, and it was just a mess. So got this last little bit of cork to remove, and then I got to clean up the mess. You can see there's all kinds of dust and things on the floor from this. There's stuff in there I got to take out with getting here with a vacuum cleaner. Gonna get a sanding block and get everything all smoothed down. So from inside the Helix, the project continues. The hard part is almost done with the removal of this cork roadbed. I've been using a heat gun to help soften the hot glue underneath the cork. So yeah, it was a mess. So if you're ever thinking of building Helix, don't do it with what I did. So do it right from the start. Try not to take too many shortcuts. So all the stuff's got to be cleaned up and scraped out. So here we go. Got to do a little more work. Inside the Helix, you can see here I got some curved track tacked down to the foam core roadbed. That piece will be slipped back in to the shelf over here. If I can turn around, all these pieces here, if I can show you, are all ready for putting track on here. These are curved pieces, and I can pull these out for now and just glue the track right to these curved members of roadbed. It's very tight quarters in here. As you can see, I've got some re-railers already attached. They aren't glued down. I give myself a little bit of room to play with here so I can attach a track to it. I do have a little bit of track coming around on the lowest level that's been glued in, so that part is coming along okay. It's going to be a little tricky back in this corner, if I can show you, where the tracks come off the tunnel. You can see those two tracks on the board there that come off the tunnel over the great big bridge, and they will have to connect right into this curve here, and it's a little tricky getting that alignment and getting the things level there. Make sure I get a nice smooth transition there, but once that part is done, the rest of it should be fairly easy. I've got track glued down to the foam core roadbed here, using a great big old glue gun to put down the glue and tacking them in place, and I give it a few hours to set up before I pull the pins. I've got extra track trailing off the edge here, so those will be easy enough to connect on the straight part of the track here. I've just got a little bit of distance to cover between the end of the curve and the middle here where I've got the re-railers. On the other side though, won't be any re-railers, so it's just going to be all straight track on that side. So as you can see, it's pretty tight quarters back in here. I'm trying to get the job done back here, but I hope once I get this done, I'll eliminate a lot of the problems I had with locomotives derailing, and so I hope once that's done, I can have a worry-free Helix. It's been possessed for the last almost 10 years. So as you can see, there's lots of little tools and things I brought along back here for testing and running, and trying to test each piece of track as I lay it onto the roadbed, so make sure everything works. I had one bad piece of track I had to take out because the solder joint was pretty poor on that piece of track. So the glue I'm using allows a little forgiveness. I can pull up the track and scrape it off and glue the track down again if I need to. So that's where we're at the moment. Little by little, it's going to take a while to get all this back in order, but it's coming. Alrighty, well, welcome back. We're in the Helix today, trying to finish up the Helix intervention project. I've always had so many troubles in my Helix, so due to poor track work. So I hope I've solved my problems here in the Helix. The only place I want bulletproof track is in the Helix, but up until now everything was always going wrong in the Helix. So I've redone a lot of stuff in here, and I'll show you what I've been working with. This is some foam core, if you can see this, but it's got some, it's not paper, it's styrene. There's little sheets of styrene on this. So it's great stuff for building. So this is what I've been using on the Helix. I took out all the cork and replaced it with this foam core and glued all the track. Big old glue gun here. I glued all the track to the Helix, so all the track is nice and steady and solid. And I've been running a few test trains here. Let's see what I'm up to here. Okay, you can kind of see how I've been testing trains here. We're just using battery power, moving them up and down the Helix, just testing things out. So far I've had pretty good results. Everything seems to be running well. I've got a few other engines I'd like to test, a few steamers and things, but I've got to reconnect all the real power to the track here. I've got some little temporary plugs here that I just plug in for batteries, but these will be connected to the power source and get these back up and running. For now though, everything's just battery operated back here for testing. Okay, see little things running around the Helix here. This train's backing down the Helix. My battery's getting a little weaker and weaker, so trains are running a little bit slower. But see if I can show you what a few little things are in here. If I can get close enough here, I'm using a different camera than my favorite little camera. It doesn't work, so I'm trying a new one. Let's see if you can see in here. I've got re-railers on each level. Better to show you here. And this is where all the track power comes in on these re-railers. And I think it might be a bit of a mistake to have these wires here, because the wheels actually kind of trip on them a little bit. So if anything's off the track, they're going to trip on these wheels here. But so far, I mean these wires here, but so far everything is moving pretty well. Here goes the train backing up. I made these spacers on my 3D printer, so that helps to kind of get all the spacing right. It helps kind of get a little rigidity to the Helix too, so I hope that helps to improve performance in here. This is where all the track connections will go, all these connectors here. All the track, the foam core is glued to the wood in the Helix. This is the original surface for the Helix. So the foam core replaced the cork roadbed, and then everything is glued down nice and firm on the rail. Track work will continue up the ramp there, and right up in that corner up there is where where I cut the roadbed, and that will be spliced back together again, and we'll put the top back on the layout here. Once the top is on, I won't be able to stand where I am, because this is actually the access space back here in behind the layout here. This will be the access space. It's kind of a mess right now. And I am standing right about where the big station will go. You can see the results of the work here on the Helix. All the junk and stuff piled up On the other side of the room, it's a mess. So I hope to get the top back on this side of the layout and get things underway on the upper deck. Okay, well, that's about where we're at right now. Started making this video in September of last year, so I'm trying to finish it up and get a little bit of an update out there. So that's where we're at for now. The Helix, hope to have that operational soon, and then we'll get the top sitting up here. We'll get that back over here and get that big old station mounted right up about here and get going on the upper deck. Finally, this layout is 10 years old. I can't believe it. So, but thanks for stopping by. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for staying. Thanks for watching. Happy New Year to everyone. I'm going to try to get a few more videos out. Just really haven't had much content to share lately of any great interest. So that's why my videos have kind of petered out for a while. Kind of dropped off the radar on that. But once we get going on the upper deck, I hope to have more things to share with you, and you can see the progress on that. So thanks so much for hanging in there with me. We sure appreciate all the viewers and subscribers and all that. Don't know what else to say. I'm really humbled by how many people have signed up to watch my videos that don't have anything better to do than to sit here and watch me build my layout. So thanks so much for all your support and interest, and we'll see you next time in the next video. So take care, everyone. Again, be safe, be kind, Happy New Year, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.